Hello, guys. I am so freaking excited that you are here. So you're just turning off my recorder for my pulse. Super excited that you guys are here for this workshop. This is probably one of my favorite workshops that I've ever created. And I know I say this all the time, but it really, really is. This one is very specific to eliminate your food noise and how you can actually break free from binging and drop those 5 or 10 kilos for good. I think the biggest misconception around binge eating is that you can't lose weight and stop binge eating, that you can't be in a deficit and stop binge eating, that you need to, just accept your body for what it is now, even if you are 5 to 10 kilos heavier than you would like to be, and then you be able to stop. That's so far from the truth. Like I literally have bodybuilders competing in shows stopping binge eating. I have people in deficits stopping binge eating. The reason that you think this is because I don't know, someone has just come up with this, and I think it's because it's easier and it's easier to coach, but that doesn't mean that it's not possible. It just means that your coach doesn't know how to coach you through this. So in this workshop, I really want to show you why it is possible because spoiler alert, you absolutely can stop binge eating and lose weight. Binge eating has nothing to do with your food. Food noise even doesn't even have anything to do with your food. And this workshop is going to tell you why. So, you are all here today because you are sick of going all in and then going all out. You're sick of starting over every single freaking Monday and then going all out on the weekend and binging and then starting again. You are the all or nothing person. You want to stop gaining and losing the same weight. Like, how annoying is it that you lose a bit of weight and then you binge and you gain back and then you lose it again and you binge again and then you always gain a little bit more than you lose, right? You're sick of that constant food noise, always planning ahead, always thinking about food, thinking about your next meal, thinking about what you're gonna eat, and just your brain just constantly being occupied, like can't even have conversations because you're just thinking about food all the time. You want to be able to go on vacations without worrying about gaining weight. You want to go to that nice summer holiday. You want to go on a holiday with your partners, with your family, with your friends. You want to be able to actually take a weekend off and not just sit there and stress about, oh my God, if I eat this, I might binge. Or if I eat this, I probably gain weight. If I eat this, I'm going to have to go on a diet when I get home. You want to stop this. You probably tried everything to stop binge eating, and you want that balance that everyone is talking about. And you know that if you keep doing this, this is going to lead you keep gaining and losing the same weight. And also, like I said before, you're gonna gain a little bit more weight every single time you binge, and every single time you try and lose it, it gets harder and harder and harder. It will keep ruining the relationship that you have with yourself. And this is like, when you have that friend who doesn't show up when she says she's gonna show up, she's always late, she cancels, she's flaky. Do you like that friend? Probably not, because you can't trust them. And the same thing is going to go with yourself. If you always say, this weekend was the last time I binged, this week's going to be different, and then you keep binging every weekend, do you think that you're going to like yourself a lot towards the end of it? No, of course not, because you keep binge eating, even though you say you're not gonna. Of course, you're not gonna like yourself. So you're chipping away at your self-love, you're chipping away at your confidence. You're going to waste more money on meal plans, on new coaches, on diets, on binge foods. That's literally you throwing money in the garbage, like the picture. And you're sick of it taking over your life, and you know that the longer you leave it, the more it's taking over your life. Like if you look back to when your binging started, it probably didn't consume you that much. It's probably just like every now and then, right? Like you didn't really think too much of it. But the longer you've left it, the more it's taken over your life. And you have probably tried macros or meal plans. How many nutrition coaches have you paid for in the past? You might even be with a nutrition coach right now, and your binging might have gone a little bit better, but you're obviously watching this for a reason. There's obviously something there that's clicked and you started binging again. It's something that no longer works. Because at the start, when you start with your coach, you're so excited. It feels fun. It feels like, woo, like high motivation and it feels easy. But once that initial motivation wears off, you go back to your old behaviors because you haven't actually healed the root cause. You probably tried journaling, and your coach might have said to you, like your nutritionist might have said, journal your feelings when you want to binge, or take a moment to breathe, or set a timer. And it might have worked for a few times, But again, it didn't heal the root cause, so you're gonna go back to your behavior. You've tried having more willpower and, tried harder, told yourself you need more willpower and dedication and need to be stronger and need more motivation. Is it working? No, otherwise you wouldn't be here. You might have also tried ebooks, courses, and group programs because you're like, ooh, one-on-one is too expensive. But let's like calculate how much money you spent on ebooks, courses, and group programs in the past. It's probably going to be the same cost as a one-on-one coach. That's actually going to work for you because obviously neither of these things have worked or you wouldn't be here. So, what will we cover today? Well, we're going to talk about my own personal story with binge eating. And the reason I want to talk about this is because I don't want anyone to ever look at me and be like, oh, she's never struggled with her food her whole life. Like she lives in Dubai, she's lean, she eats out, she goes out on the weekends. Like I struggled with binge eating for so long, and that's why I want to share it because I don't want you to think that I'm better than you or any different than you. The only difference between me and you is that I've actually taken the step to heal. And this is what I'm going to teach you in this workshop too. We're going to talk about the all or nothing mindset. We're going to talk about guilt and shame around eating. We're going to talk about building neural pathways, which is habits in a more normal English, not sciencey. And we're going to talk about nervous system regulation, my favorite topic, and building safety in your body. And before you feel like, oh, this is like such a long workshop, make sure you stay till the end because I'm going to give you a bonus valued over $600. So stay for that, guys. So who am I? Well, I'm assuming that you're watching this workshop and you're here today because you have seen me on Instagram or maybe you listen to my podcast. So you probably have an idea of who the hell is this blonde person with glasses. Well, my name is Ellen. I'm from Sweden. So if you're like, why does she have an accent? That's why. Now I live in Dubai and I've been coaching for 8 years now, which is freaking mad. I have a program called the Empowered Woman and I have helped women stop binge eating since 2018. So I'm no newbie in this game. I was probably one of the first people who started coaching binge eating online. And the Empowered Woman has kind of become the program that people go to when they feel like they've tried it all. And this is the program that actually works. I'm qualified in cognitive behavioral therapy, acceptance and commitment therapy, and a nervous system specialist. And the reason why I love the nervous system is because, I mean, how many of you have talked about your anxiety or your overwhelm or you're not feeling good enough or, your dad or your mom or maybe even your binge eating? Like you probably even know, like, yeah, I binge when I get stressed or I binge when I feel anxious. Yeah, you know that, but you don't know how to actually break it. And this is where the nervous system comes in, because if you don't incorporate your body would always hold you back and make you do the same repeated habits over and over again. Because knowing what to do without actually doing it, they're two different things. You're obviously not going to see any changes if you know what to do, but your body doesn't allow you to do it. It's kind of like, we all know that eating broccoli is healthy, but we don't want to do that on a Sunday. We would rather eat pizza, right? But we do it because it feels familiar for us and it's hard to break that pattern. This is where the nervous system comes in. I have a podcast called The Unfiltered Empowered Woman. So if you like this workshop, make sure you look at that up on Spotify or Apple Podcast. It's unreal, if I can say so myself. I release new episodes every Thursday, a mix of educational content like this and podcasts, or sorry, guest speakers. I also do a lot of education for Women's Fitness Academy, Women's Fitness Education, and a corporate company called Lidology, and work as an international guest speaker. So I do a lot of workshops for coaches, coaching programs, and people who want someone to come in and talk about binge eating, habit change, and nervous system. So if you're a coach and you would like me to come and speak with your clients, give me a WhatsApp on Instagram. Let's talk about my story then, because I kept binging for 10 plus years because I kept saying, it's not that bad. I can do it myself. I'm only binging on like Greek yogurt and rice cakes or, dates and peanut butter. Like, it's not that bad. It's not like I'm eating pizza every single day or chocolate every single day. Like, sometimes I did, but a lot of times it was literally just health foods. I felt like I wasn't fat enough, like a big enough to get help because I looked normal. Like I thought binge eating was something that just obese people did. I kept saying like I'll start again on Monday, like this is gonna be the last weekend that I binge, but it never was. I used to say to myself, okay, once I've lost these 5 kilos, then I will start recovering from binge eating, but I need to lose this weight first. And my favorite, I can't afford it right now. Meanwhile, I spent, I don't know, I think I bought like 6 or 7 of those like $99 challenges or, group programs or courses on binging and books on binging and listened to podcasts on binging and wasted all this time and money when I could have just paid for what I ended up paying for at the end and fixed it. Like it literally fixed so quickly once I actually got the right help. So my binge eating journey or my related food journey started off as a young girl. I was 14, 15 years old, and I was really shy as a child. And you might look at me like, no, not you. Like you're so like bubbly and talk to everyone. And I do now, but I wasn't like that back then. Hmm. Back then, I was really shy. And in my school, it was like the whole class was just like, okay, we're going to go on a diet for summer. So we all started dieting, and I realized that, wow, I'm really good at losing weight. Like I've always been the kind of person who takes it a little bit too far, like a bit for like I used to carry that all or nothing, like that was me. I was an all or nothing person. So I was like, ooh, I'm really good at this. And people started noticing me. People started complimenting me. People started validating me and like, wow, you're like, Ellen, you lost so much weight. You look so good. I wish I could do what you're doing. And this quickly started becoming, I started creating this identity that, ooh, if I lose more weight, if I work harder, people like me more. So of course I lost more weight and worked harder and lost more weight and worked harder. And I've had this belief that if I'm not skinny, if I'm not working super hard, then I'm not good enough. Like I'm not valuable as a human. And this is something I see so much, especially in us fitness girlies, that we think that the harder we work and the more we do, the more worthy we are. The more skinny you are, the better you are as a person. And when we create this belief at such an early age, like I did, it haunts us throughout our adulthood as well. And this is why you feel like nothing you do is ever good enough because you created this belief at an early age. So for me, got really skinny. Like I lost about 20 kilos in the span of 6 months. And it ended up with me basically having an ultimatum of you either go to hospital or you start eating again. And back then, this is like 15 years ago in Sweden, like getting help for an eating disorder, that was not a thing. Like it was hospital or like you didn't have one basically. So I was like, well, if I could just stop eating, then surely I can just start eating again. And it was literally like someone just flicked the switch. And I went from, barely eating anything to binge eating. Like I just couldn't stop myself. Like I would have dinner and it was just like a flip in my head. It was just like, okay, now you need to have ice cream. Now you need to have chocolate. Now you need to have this and that. And then you've ruined the whole day, so you might as well keep eating. And the next day I'd go on a diet again and diet for a couple of days, and then something would happen, like someone would have brought up snacks into school, or there'd be ice cream in the freezer when I got home, and I'd eat that, and then I would just binge. And for 10 years, I was literally on keto, I was on meal plans, I was tracking macros, I was doing paleo, I tried, going gluten free, I tried going lactose free, I tried, vegan diet, I tried everything to try and control myself. And yeah, sometimes it worked for like a couple of months, but then like as soon as that motivation and that kind of newness wore off, it was like, okay, this is not fun anymore. So I went back to binge eating. Or something small would trigger it and I would start binging again. And I remember, when I was with my ex in Australia, like he had like peanut butter at home, like I would eat the whole thing. I couldn't have it at home. Sometimes he would buy like loaves of bread and I would just eat the whole loaf of bread. Like sometimes with nothing on it, just because I wanted to binge so badly. I used to go to like McDonald's, KFC, and buy all of these foods, go to a middle of a street in the middle of nowhere, eat all the food, throw it in some random person's bin just so that I wouldn't tell anyone, so no one would find out. I would rather stay at home and binge than go to a party. Like the most exciting part of my week was the weekend because I'd binge again. Like the list of binge foods that I would have in my notes every single week was like insane. Like I was more excited to plan my binges than to plan my birthday. And this is what happens. Like it becomes an addiction. It becomes like your best friend. And it became like the funnest thing for me. I loved it. And I think a part of me as well didn't want to let it go because I liked it so much. Like it literally felt like my life. But the real turning point for me was when I was working at a cafe and I had thrown all the like croissants and whatever out for the day that was in the bin. And it was like something just took over, like autopilot, and I just had to reach down and grab this croissant, and I ate it. And then I turned around, and there was someone, like a customer, just walked in, and they saw me. Like, oh, I want to sink through the floor every time I tell this story because it was so embarrassing. It kind of made me think, like, shit, maybe this behavior isn't normal. Like maybe it's not just fun eating on the weekends, and it's not that bad, and you don't actually need help. Like I'm eating food from the freaking bin. Like I need help. And randomly, my friend was going to a mindset workshop that week, and I was like, oh, I'll tag along. And in that workshop, he really pointed out that, the reason, like they were talking about drugs and alcohol and stuff like that, but he pointed out that the reason that you're turning to drugs or alcohol or dating apps or sex or whatever it is isn't because you think that that's so fun. It's because you're trying to fill a void. You're trying to run away from something. And for me, it was very much so that, I was trying to run away from my feelings. I was suppressing everything. I wasn't asking for help. I always felt like I had to work harder. I never felt like I was good enough. And pushing, 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 pushing. So, of course, at the end of the day, the binging became like my outlet where I could finally relax and chill. And this was just a cycle that I was stuck in. And when he said that, it was kind of like, oh my God, that's literally me. So I started crying, had to leave. He came out after me, and I signed up that week. And that healed my binge eating. Fast forward a few years, and I felt completely healed and started up my company. And now I help, over 800 women stop binge eating all over the world. I have clients in Canada, US, Denmark, the Netherlands. I have clients in Sweden. I have clients in Australia. I have clients in New Zealand. Like it's crazy how, in Dubai even, it's crazy how it's blown up so much, and I love it. And like I said before, like I feel like the Empowered Woman has really become the program where people go when they've tried everything. And like the satisfaction I get when someone signs up and then 3 weeks later they're like, Ellen, what the fuck? Like I've stopped binging. I haven't binged in like X amount of weeks. This has not have never happened to me before. Like, I love it. It's the best. So, anyways, that's me. So I wanted to share just some clients with you because you might be like, oh, well, that's easy for you, Ellen. But like, even if you go to my highlights on my Instagram, there'll be so many highlights there saying how many people who have had the same experience. This is my client Imge, who is from South Africa, and she thought that she would never be able to break it. Like she literally said on our intro call, she's like, I honestly don't think that this is gonna work, but let's give it a go. Like whatever, let's just try it. And within 4 weeks, she had stopped binge eating. So the rest of the course or the sessions with me was basically just to really integrate it, really implement it, making sure that she would never, ever, ever go back to this ever again. And I spoke to her the other day, and she hasn't. So amazing. This is my other client, Cassie, who is also a coach like me. And she very much had that belief that, I can't get help because I'm a coach and I should know. Like, felt like an imposter because, she's a coach and she's telling other people what to eat, but she couldn't stick to it herself. She did a bodybuilding show and she started binging after, and she tried for 6 months, but it wasn't working. And that's when she reached out with me to me. Within 6 weeks of working with me, she stopped binging. She started losing the binge weight. She was actually prepping for another show, but then she met someone and fell pregnant. So very cool. And this can happen for you too. Like I said, this is not a one-off thing. This is literally what happens when you join the Empowered Woman. So when you work with the right person and you work with the body and the mind, you are going to get these changes. The reason that you haven't stopped binging yet is because you've used the wrong tools. It's kind of like you've tried to build a house, but instead of looking at the foundations, you've just been looking at how can I paint the walls in a beautiful color? How can I make, put up nice paintings? How can I fix the windows? Like you haven't built the foundations, and that's why it keeps breaking for you over and over and over again. So let's talk about the all or nothing mindset. Are you an all or nothing person? Like, are you like, I'm either all in or I'm all out, and you wear it like a badge of honor? Type yes in the chat if you are. Yes, 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 yeah. That literally used to be me as well. I was always like, I'm an all or nothing person. I'm gonna be the hardest worker, the best client you've ever had. And I remember there was this one nutrition coach that I had who was like, "Oh wow, I've never worked with anyone who's so regimented as you and so strict as you, and like you were my best client." I was like, "Yeah, I am," and it made me feel like I always felt like I needed to be the best. And some signs, if for the people who didn't type yes, signs that you are an all or nothing person is you always give 110%. And if you can't do your absolute best, you go fuck it and you do the complete opposite. So you'll either be all in or all out. You're constantly starting new challenges and setting yourself new goals, but you never actually complete the goals. Or when you do complete the goals, you're like, not good enough. I need to do something else. Like, for example, when I was with this macro tracking coach once, and I kept saying, I want to lose weight, I want to lose weight, I want to lose weight. But every time I'd hit my goal weight, I'd drop it another kilo. And then I would drop it another kilo and drop it another kilo. Like, it was never good enough. You struggle to ask for help and you prefer to just fix everything yourself. You know, you're Miss Independent. I can do it myself. I don't need any help. No, I'm fine. Everything's good. Everything's okay. Typical all or nothing people. You pride yourself on being the hardest worker in the room and you're always looking for that validation. You know, that coach say, you did the best. You were the hardest worker here. You were the one, like, I'm so proud of you. You're my hardest working client. Like one time I was in a meditation class in Bali where you literally just lay down on the floor and close your eyes for an hour. And after it, I remember feeling like, oh, she didn't tell me I was the best. Like, why was I not the best at meditating? Like, you can't be the best at meditating just laying on the floor there. But this was how wrapped up in all or nothing mindset I was. So let's challenge your all or nothing mindset because a lot of people will say, I'm an all or nothing person, and they will just it will be their whole identity. And that used to be for me as well. So I just was like, I am an all or nothing person. But the problem is when you're holding yourself to this mindset that you are an all or nothing person, you kind of expect yourself to do the all or nothing. You know, you're expecting yourself to be either all in or all out. Like that's what you expect. And if you expect that, your subconscious mind will make sure that that also happens. So to break this, we need to start challenging it. So if you forgot to brush your teeth tonight, would you then stop brushing your teeth for the rest of the week? No, because that's disgusting. If you broke your right arm, would you then break your left arm to make it even? No, because that would be stupid. If you forgot to pay your Wi-Fi bill, would you then go, screwed, this month I'm not paying for gas, electricity, rent, gym membership, petrol, whatever? No, you wouldn't, because again, that would be stupid. So you're not an all or nothing person then. You know, you might think that you are, but you're not, because clearly there's a lot of areas in your life where you're not all or nothing. Maybe you are just holding on to this all or nothing mindset because it helps you feel safe around food. Because this is the only way that you know how to eat. You only know how to diet or how to binge. So let me explain where this comes from for you. Somewhere in your life, you were praised for being all in. So, like I was telling you before about my story about feeling, you know, like the more weight I lost, the harder I worked. I also came from a father who was, you know, I felt like I was only good enough for him when I was winning. Like if I came second, he would be like, oh, why didn't you win? You know, if I didn't get the best grades, he'd be like, why? And, you know, now, of course, I know that this was his way of wanting more for me, wanting the best for me. But as a little girl, I just wanted to be loved. I just wanted to be recognized. So, of course, if you have someone in your life that makes you feel like unless you're all in, you're not worthy, maybe you don't get noticed, you don't feel loved, well, you're going to learn that I need to be all in to be safe, to feel like I'm good enough, to fit in, to feel loved. So this led you to believe that this is something that you need to do to be loved. And you learned that love is conditional, which is actually not. Because this makes you believe that anything less than perfect is not good enough. And because you don't know how to sit with that guilt of not being 110, you then distract yourself and you binge. Because binging is a great distraction. So the problem isn't that you're an all or nothing person. The problem is that you don't know how to sit with those uncomfortable feelings of not feeling enough. You don't know how to self-soothe. You don't know what it actually feels like to feel like you are enough in that moment. You don't know what, like, if I ask you right now, what would you need to do to feel like you're enough? I bet you none of you can answer me because you don't actually know what it feels like. If you lost 10 kilos, you would feel like, oh, I could probably still tighten up my arms. If you someone gave you $1 million, you'd be happy for a day, and the next day you'd be like, but now I want 2 million. If I gave you a business class ticket, you'd be like, yeah, but what's first class like? We always want something better when we have this mindset. And another big part of this is, everything that we do is either because we want to get away from pain or towards pleasure. And if you have this mindset of, I need to always work harder, well, what is the reason for that? Well, it's usually because the fear of not having this mindset is that you'll fail. So having this mindset actually drives you to work really hard. And it's not all bad, right? Like you achieve a lot of things because of this mindset. But look at also how your mental health is, how your nervous system is, how you're constantly beating yourself up and feeling like shit. So yes, in some way it is good, but it's also costing you the quality of your life because you never actually feel like you've done enough. So let's look at the binge eating cycle then and how this relates to that. So let's say that you have a trigger that happens that week is you step on the scale and you haven't lost weight. This immediately triggers that mindset that, see, I'm not good enough. Here's the evidence. I haven't lost weight this week. This triggers a feeling in your body, guilt and shame and discomfort. And you're like, oh, I don't want to feel like this. This feels awful. And then you take action and autopilot takes over. This is where your brain will go, okay, last time you felt guilt or shame or any kind of discomfort, this could also be anxiety, stress, loneliness, boredom, anything that feels uncomfortable for you that you don't enjoy. The thing that you enjoy is achieving things, right? Anytime that you're not achieving, you will go to this. This is also where you get food noise, because food noise is a lot easier to think about than to sit with that feeling of not feeling enough. So your brain will go, okay, what did we do last time we felt like this? And how do we fix it? Because your brain is all about fixing things. Well, you binged, and that made you feel better for the moment. But once you stop binging, you have more guilt. Why can I never do anything right? What's wrong with me? Why can't I do this? I can't tell anyone about this. I need to fix it. And your anxiety kicks in that, okay, how can we fix this? How can we solve this problem? Restricting, purging, training, signing up to a new meal plan, having more discipline and willpower. What's actually happening there is you create more stress in your body and you stay stuck in dysregulation. And I want you to try something for me. I want you to say, I'm not good enough. Where do you feel that? How does that feel in your body? Let's do it again. And I want you to really pay attention. How does it feel in your body? Like, where is this showing up? Because for me, it's in my chest. I can feel it straight away. I'm not good enough. That feels sad. Like, I almost want to cry. So can you see how this talk, the negative self-talk is affecting your nervous system, your body? Now I want you to close your eyes and say, I am good enough. So let's try that now. I am good enough. Immediately I get this like warm, fuzzy feeling in my stomach and I'm smiling because this is the power of your self-talk. And if you don't change this, you're going to create more and more stress in your body. You can't outwill your subconscious mind. So you can't outwill your binge eating. Our conscious mind takes up about 50 bits of information per second, and our subconscious mind takes on 11 million bits of information per second. So what this means is that if you have a subconscious belief of feeling like you're not good enough, and belief again from childhood, something that made you feel like you're not good enough unless you achieve XYZ, well, your subconscious mind will scan the room constantly, in 11 million bits of information per second. Remember that. Constantly looking for ways to prove that you're not good enough. So even though you consciously know that you are, a good coach or whatever it might be, it doesn't see as much information because your subconscious will always override it. And this is why we need nervous system regulation and doing the inner work to rewire your subconscious mind. And the way that we rewire our brain is we need to repeat. Because what fires together, so the neurons that fire together, they wire together. So I want you to look at your bad habit as a path in the woods. And, just like this path here, it's Easy to walk. You walk there a million times. It's comfortable for you. This will take you to where you need to go. When we want to create a new path, when we want to create a new neural pathway in your brain, a new habit, it's basically like you getting to the start of this track and saying, nope, we're going to go left here and we're just going to go out in the forest here where there's no path. Of course, you're going to trip. Of course, you're going to slip up. Of course, you're going to fall over. Of course, you're going to get lost. Of course, you're going to feel uncomfortable. And of course, you're going to want to give up because it's hard. It's so hard. And you are every now and then going to go back to that old path, which is easy. And you're going to feel guilty and you're going to feel like this is wrong. I shouldn't be doing this. And it's easier before, like it's better than the other path. And I feel guilty now because I fell over. I feel guilty now because I did this. That's not because it's wrong. It's because it's not the same. It's not what you know. That's why you're feeling guilty here. But the more you do this, the more you walk on this new path, the easier it's going to be to walk. The less overgrown it's going to be, the more of a path it's going to feel like. But it takes, 3,000 repetitions-ish to create a new habit. It takes a lot of work. It's like when you go to the gym and you do, like, your glutes are not gonna grow because you do 5 hip thrusts. You need to put months into growing your glutes. And this is the same thing with habits. It's not just gonna change like that. And it's not just gonna change because you watch this workshop. It's something that you repeatedly have to hold yourself accountable to do. And sometimes have someone to guide you, be like, hey, remember, we're doing this new path. We're not gonna be on the old path anymore. And it's hard. It is hard work. But the more you practice it, the more overgrown your old path is going to be. It's not gone. It's always going to be there. It's always going to be an option, but it's going to be overgrown. So your nervous system will always choose a familiar hell over an unfamiliar freedom. This is why people stay in like abusive relationships, for example. They know that it's not good. They know it's toxic. They know they should leave this person, but it's familiar. It's something that they know. The nervous system can anticipate what's going to happen. When we now go on this new path here, we don't know what's going to happen there. We don't know if there's snakes, if there's traps, if there's rocks, where it's going to go. We don't know. At least, even if this path sucks, we still know what it feels like to walk there. And this is how your nervous system works. It will always choose the familiar. And this is why you can't just have more willpower. You need to rewire your neural pathways and create that safety in your body in order to actually break it. So to break it, then we need to do something that's called befriend your nervous system. And why you need to do this is because the state of your body, the state of your nervous system, will decide the story that you're telling yourself in your mind. So if your body feels like it needs to fight and you feel reactive and you want to confront the threat, you will, have thoughts of like, I need to do more, I need to go more, I need to try harder, I need to go, go, go. If you're in a flight, you will feel anxious and you want to avoid or escape. So you might be like, oh yeah, I'll deal with this later. Oh, it's fine. Like, oh, whatever, I'm just running away from it. If you're in a freeze state, you will feel like your body's shut down and feel stuck and you can't make a decision. And you will feel really overwhelmed and feel like, oh my God, I have so much to do, but I don't even know where to start. And I don't understand why I can't just get stuff going. And in a fawn state, you will people please, you disassociate and try and keep the peace just to stay safe. Like you will be like, oh yeah, it's fine. Let's just do it anyway. And you will constantly just put your own needs last. So how this then applies to binge eating. So someone who gets stuck in a fight state will see, for example, a girl on Instagram who maybe you think she looks better than you. And immediately you'll be like, oh, well, she just looks like that because she has X, Y, Z, and she doesn't, deal know what I have to deal with. But it will also trigger that story that you're not good enough. And this is where you might eat because you're like, oh, I'm so frustrated, I'm so jealous of this person. But eating then helps you calm down in that moment. If you're someone who tends to go to flight, you might overeat at dinner with your friends or at the restaurant, and this makes you feel anxious. And you're like, oh my God, I just want to escape. I just want to get out of here. I'm so disappointed in myself. And when you get into your car, you just go, fuck it. And you stop at the service station or McDonald's on the way home or binge when you get home. If you're someone who gets stuck in freeze, you probably feel very stuck, numb, disconnected after a long day because you're so busy. Just go, 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 go. And as soon as you get home, you're like, oh, I just want to eat something. I just want to relax because you can't actually process what you're feeling and you haven't given yourself enough time during the day to break and also ask for help with some of your tasks. And if you're someone who gets stuck in phone, this is where, for example, someone, you might be at family dinner or with your friends, and someone's like, just have a little bit, come on, stop dieting. You don't have to always diet. And because you don't want to disappoint them, you just say, oh, right, I'll have something then, even though you don't actually like it or you don't want anything. And then your mind goes into, oh, well, I've ruined it now anyway, so I'll just keep eating. So does that make sense? Good. So, what you actually need to break this is, first of all, we need to break your all or nothing thinking because this is obviously not helping you. It might have helped you in some aspects, and yes, it's good to be able to lock in and focus, but it's not helping you with your food because you're either binging or you're dieting. So, you're not actually getting anywhere. You're constantly starting over. So, we need to understand, where is this coming from? Whose voice is this? Where did this actually start? Was it your dad? Was it your mom? Was it your teacher? Was it your coach? Who made you believe that the only way that you're good enough is by being the best? How do we then change it? How do we start rewiring your subconscious belief so that your subconscious stops looking for evidence to why you're not good enough? And we also need the accountability to actually stick to it. We need to regulate your nervous system. So we need to understand, are you someone who gets stuck in fight, flight, freeze, or fawn? How do we then regulate using somatic approaches? So this can be breathing techniques, it could be like gorilla taps, it could be jumping up and down, it could be splashing cold water on your face, it could be loads of different things, and every single state has different ways to regulate because they're all different. You can't use the same tools for every state. You have to use different tools. This is why you need to understand, where do you get stuck. So learning how to self-soothe and regulate in a healthy way so that when you are heightened, when you're frustrated or sad or lonely or stressed or overwhelmed, you don't just turn to food. You actually regulate in a way that actually helps you. And you can come back to peace and consciousness and actually activate your conscious mind to see, what is it that would actually help me here, and respond, not just react. And we need actionable steps to grow. Not more talk therapy or journal prompts, steps. Because if journaling or reading or talking about it would help, yes, it can absolutely help build awareness. And awareness is the first step for your body to know that it's actually okay to change. But awareness without the plan and moving is fuck all. It's nothing. So we need to know, okay, this is what works, or this is the action, or this is the awareness, this is why it's happening. How do we then move? Otherwise, it's like saying like, oh, I want to go to the Maldives, but you have no idea how to book a flight, how to get to the airport, what to pack, how to get on the flight. You need to also know the steps to get there. So you need a personalized plan to help you break this for good. So I am not a fan of group programs. I'm not a fan of courses. I'm not a fan of ebooks. Ebooks and stuff, they can help you get a step in, but it's not going to help you break for good. Like, you need one-on-one approach. And if you're watching this, you've probably done group programs, you've probably done courses in the past, and you wouldn't still be here if it actually worked. Because every person is different. How would a course be able to cater to so many different people? It's literally impossible. So what happens if you don't do these things? If you don't actually change this? Well, you'll keep working hard in the gym, but you'll still binge on the weekends or at night. And you'll make yourself feel better by saying, I'll start fresh on Monday. Next week will be different. But deep down, you feel like you're an imposter. Every time you're bored, lonely, you're comparing yourself to other women on Instagram, you'll start telling yourself that I'm not good enough, I'll never be like them, I'm never gonna lose this weight, they're so much better than me. And you'll binge to distract yourself from feeling what you're feeling in that moment. You'll keep wasting money on meal plans, group programs, courses, ebooks. And yeah, they work for a little bit, like I said, but eventually you go back to binging because you haven't fixed the root cause. You might have even gone on GLPs like Mounjaro or Ozempic, and yeah, it works great while you're on it. But do you want to be able, like, do you want to keep taking a shot for the rest of your life? No. Wouldn't you rather, like, do you want to fix now or do you want to fix for good? Because a fix for good, that's what I would take. So if you do work on these things, you'll finally be able to feel like a gym girl. And you'll be able to post that photo on Instagram. You'll be able to go into the change room feeling sexy, looking good, and people look at you and be like, you clearly go to the gym, don't you? And that's what you want, and that's what you deserve. Whenever you feel emotional, you'll know how to self-soothe. You know how to regulate in a healthy way that actually helps you release what you're feeling, come back to your body, and feel empowered and in control of your actions. Not just, believing your subconscious mind, constantly having intrusive thoughts, constantly laying in bed thinking about the day. Like you'll actually be in control. And you no longer feel stressed around food. You can go on a holiday, you can have a little bit, but then you can go, I'm full now, I'll leave it. Or put that dress on that's been hanging in your closet, waiting for you to wear it because you finally lost that weight. And you want that. And you see your body like changing every single week. And eating healthy just feels easy for you. Like you want to choose the right thing. You can have Maltesers in your fridge and you're not eating the whole bag. Like I literally have a Maltesers bag in there now that's been in there for 2 weeks because I just have like one tiny little bite, like one little bowl every day. And that's enough for me because I don't have to binge on it anymore. And the same, you can have the same. So if you're sitting here right now, I know that you're a different type of woman. You are the type of woman who knows she's destined for more. Like you know that you deserve to be binge free for yourself, for your partner, for your friends, for your family, and for your children. Even if it's your future children. You deserve to be binge free. You deserve to actually enjoy your life without food noise, without binging, without weight gain, actually being happy and proud in your body. And these girls, they thought that they'd never be able to stop binging and lose weight. And they literally tried it all. And then they tried Empowered Woman. And within weeks, like sometimes clients stop binging after one call with me. And that can happen for you too. You just have to take that shot. The Empowered Woman is exactly created for women like yourself who are ready to stop binge eating and finally see results in your bodies. Like you deserve that. And this program will take you from feeling like you're lost and out of control around food and probably in your life as well to feeling empowered, in control of your actions and finally drop that weight for good. Like keep it off. No more food noise, no more binging, food freedom, being able to eat out, but not even finish a whole thing on your plate. 867 women have gone through my binge breaker blueprint and they are now binge free and confident in their bodies. So, what is the Empowered Woman method? Well, the first 4 weeks are all about, us getting quick wins. Like I said before, I don't believe in slow results. It has to happen quickly. It has to happen so that you feel like you're doing something. Like I literally want you to sign up and start seeing results from the moment that you press yes. And that's what I want. And that's what my clients are having. You have the accountability with me, so one-on-one support. You have a group with women as well, but it is one-on-one coaching. And this is why you're gonna get results fast. You heal and rewire for the week 4 to 8. You will probably have stopped binging by now. So we can dive a little bit deeper into your inner world. We really look at your childhood, your upbringing, your nervous system. Where do you people please? Where do you try to be perfect? And understand, how your lack of boundaries or how your lack of setting, speaking your needs or how all of this is impacting you and why this has now led you to start binging. Like, how can we make sure we create peace and freedom in your life and rewire your behavior? And then the last few weeks are really about resetting your dopamine levels to allow you to have more balance. You can leave food on your plate. You can go out with your friends and just have a couple of drinks. You can go on holidays and come back and not having gained weight. Like I literally had people coming to me after Christmas, like, Ellen, what the hell? Like I've lost weight over Christmas because you can when you're no longer obsessed with food, when your world no longer revolves around food. Like your body will naturally just start dropping that weight without you even have to do anything. It can be that easy if you have the right tools. And you will not fail this. 87% of the clients on the Empowered Woman have stopped binge eating before week 6. Like that is unheard of, and this is the only program that gets results like this. 10% stop binging at week 8, and the remaining 3% stop by week 10 to 12. Like I've never had anyone complete the full program and not stop binge eating, and I'm not gonna let you ruin that track record. I will make sure that you stop. You have my word. I will do everything I can to help you. like all of these women have followed the steps of the program and they all stop before the 12-week mark. You're not broken. You just tried the wrong strategy. It's like you tried to paint a house using a fork. Like you just tried the wrong tools and that's it. And it's not your fault. It's just that you've probably been tricked by other coaches saying that they can do this for you, but haven't actually had the proof there to back it up. And yeah, of course it's going to be an investment. It's not free, but how much are you currently spending every week on binge foods? You know, how many times trips do you take to the service station? How much money are you spending on protein bars and like diet foods that you're binging on? How much money are you wasting on donuts? How much money are you wasting on Uber Eats or McDonald's or pizza or eating out or fries or takeaways? You know, how much are you actually spending every week? Not just spending money on foods, but also how much have you spent on meal plans, on courses, on programs that hasn't worked. So this is just a rough calculation for you. For example, you know, muffin with your coffee, chocolate at the service station, McDonald's on a Friday, pancakes eating out on a Saturday morning, Uber Eats on a Saturday night, donuts, sweets on the weekends, spreads that you finish in one sitting. You know, that's over $200 a week already. Like, and it sounds like small things like, oh, it's $10 here, $40 here, but it adds up. And what if you could just take all that money and put that into a savings account? Like imagine the holiday you could go on in a few weeks. So in-person therapy is around $300 a session. And I love therapy, but there's no contact in between calls. You don't get any homework. There's no workbooks and there are no nervous system tools because they're very boxed into this square of this is what you can do, which is what you can't do. And that's it. It's expensive and you only see them once a week or once every second week. So of course healing is going to take a long time because if you're only talking to someone an hour every 2 weeks, you're not going to get that much healing done. But with the Empowered Woman, I'm going to give you a special workshop offer for only $149 a week. Normally it's over $200. So this workshop offer will give you monthly one-on-one calls with me, weekly group calls for ongoing coaching and community support, 24/7 access to our private group chat, and one-on-one support with me on WhatsApp. This is so that monthly calls, we can always add in more if you need, but in the monthly calls, we will go really deep into why you're binging, where it's coming from, how we can fix it right away. And then the WhatsApp support is there to help you in between the calls so that if you have a problem on a Tuesday, for example, you can just text me straight away. I'll reply back to you, 2-3 times a day. So we can work through it right away. You don't have to wait till next week. You don't have to wait until Monday and check-in day. You don't have to wait till the next call. Let's fix it there and then so that you don't have to go to sleep that night thinking about your problem. This is why the girls on the Empowered Woman have so much progress because there's so much support. And like I said, our special workshop offer is just $149 a week, which is less than your weekend binge. This also gives you access to my education portal, which I've invested $30,000 into just to create the best self-development program out there. Like we have things on binge eating recovery, inner child work, nervous system regulation, manifestation, empowered eating, shadow work, triggers. Like there's everything in there, like neuroscience, everything is in there so that you feel like, oh, I don't actually have to buy that book now. I don't have to buy that course now. I don't have to go to therapy now because I have all of the self-development stuff that I need in this program. Imagine yourself 12 weeks from now. You could be seeing progress in your body every single week. You could be feeling confident in your body. You could feel and look like the gym girl that you are. Like you're already training so hard in the gym. Don't you want to look like that? Don't you want people to look at you and be like, she trains. Look at you, girl. You go, girl. And you're proud of yourself. And you show up for yourself daily and you're proud of like, yes, I got myself. I love myself. And you're no longer stuck in the all nothing mentality. And in just 40 to 60 days, like you could get there for just $149 a week. Again, that is less than your weekend binge. So if you're interested in this, make sure you send me a message. Make sure you tell me that you watched the workshop and that you want to sign up after the workshop so that I know what price to give you. And I just want to say thank you again for watching. I am so grateful that you're here. I'm so grateful that you signed up to this. And any feedback that you have, please reach out and tell me. And yeah, If you're here, I know that you want more for yourself. If you're here, I know that you know that you deserve more. And I just can't wait to help you. I can't wait to make 2026 the year that you actually overcome binge eating for good. Like, oh, it makes me so excited that you're gonna be joining the program. I get to know you. I get to show you what the world will look like without food noise, without binging, at your goal weight, and actually feeling good in your body. That's my dream for you, and I'm so excited that you're here on the journey with me. Thank you so much again, and I hope that you have the most beautiful day.